Hey, everybody. Welcome to Comic Book Curation Live. I am Polly, and joining me, as always, is Inquisitor. Quiz, how you doing this week?
I just watched 36 seconds of the new Miley Cyrus video, and I'm questioning my life decisions.
Yes. Whatever led you to press play upon that video was I did the same thing a couple days ago when I watched it.
I'm just going to jump in front of that train.
Yeah, don't watch the rest of it. Just end it all. The train is calling you. And rounding out our triumvirate of awesome, as always, is Jack from Bad Comic Reviews. His link is in the description. Jack, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah, actually?
Life's
right.
like that.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, so here's what happened, right? Since you guys are so curious about how I'm doing, I'll tell you. I was in a good mood. I've been reading good comics lately. And then I started collecting stories, tabs, articles for us to go over this week. And wow, guys, it's a depressing world out there when it comes to comics. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you gentlemen.
No. People have been losing their shit for a really long time. I'm not shocked. I may have a shocking amount of patience, but I'm pretty cynical when it comes to this shit.
Ooh, Dark Admiral Marchair is here. Hey, Marchair. That's why I ended up. Yeah, I know. Like, it sounds so cynical. The title of the stream is "Comics Are Becoming a Creative Wasteland." The description is tonight we discuss the awful Black Widow comic, the awful Lois Lane comic, the awful hot takes of comics media, awful random stories, and our pitches, which are actually good. Not gonna lie to you, chat. It's a rough week for stories. Man. Holy shit! Some really depressing, sad, and sadly predictable things are going on out in the pop culture world in and around comic books. But before we get into all that, why don't we take a look at this week's thumbnail, which I don't know if I'm proud of it. It was pretty straightforward to do, but nonetheless, it's awesome. Woohoo! Cowboy Vampira. Vampirilla.
Vampirilla.
That's the one.
Vampirilla. Vampirilla.
Yeah.
He saw those chaps and lost it.
Well, it makes no sense. That's why it's awesome. Like, it's from Vampirilla Southern Gothic, the 5-issue series. This was the cover of issue number 1, and I was reading it, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of an interesting take to put Vampirilla in the middle of cowboy country. And I mean, it doesn't really make sense what she's wearing, but goddamn, looks great. Matt Winter says I should stop taking Jack's special pills. No, it took me long enough to convince him to give them to me in the first place.
Joke's on you. I don't take any pills.
What the hell did you give me?
I don't know. Found those.
Cowgirl, not cowboy. Whatever. It's a cow gender non-neutralness.
I like frosted glasses. Polydublexia.
Polylexia. That's got to be an actual condition. It sounds like one.
It sounds like one. Yeah. Here, let's see if I
That's what you get from chewing too much double mint gum.
Ah.
What? How?
It's a joke.
Yeah, no, but I don't even get it.
Double your pleasure, double your fun. Poly means multiple.
Right.
Dub, because it's
never mind. If explaining it just makes it less funny than it already was.
I don't know. I don't think it started out very far down the funny.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't buy that. You know, I've laughed at jokes once explained. Like I say, I don't get it, and then they explained it to me, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's hilarious." Most of those
got it. That's all I cared about.
Yeah, but most of the jokes that were funny once explained were all racist jokes, so I can't tell them here. You know, it's whatever. Anyway,
Polydub finds racist jokes funny. You heard it here first, folks.
But no, it's fine. White people were the targets of all of them.
Ah, okay.
Oh, that makes it okay then.
See what I mean? They were all at white people's expense.
Apparently, polylexia is a thing in a different language.
What? It means having dyslexia in a language you don't speak.
Something Slavnik. I don't know. It's every single result. Okay, here I'll even screen share it. Here, give me a sec.
No, I believe you.
And say you type in polylexia, you're just gonna find a whole bunch of stuff in foreign. Just saying.
Yeah.
All right. Well, etymology aside, we should probably talk about comic books. That's why we're here.
I guess. See,
Polylexic relation.
I'm not in a big rush to get into comics this week because it is such a depressing week. So, have either of you guys seen Spider-Man: Far From Good?
No.
No. What about you, chat? One for yes, two for no. Have you all seen Spider-Man: Far From Home? Spider-Man tragically missing Laura Harrier.
Spider-Man doesn't care because he has Zendaya.
Coleman.
Say her name right. She's a perfume.
No.
Zendaya.
Only if you say it as one name. Like if you say Zendaya, then yeah, you do have to say it like that. If it's just Zendaya, is Zendaya Coleman. That's her fucking name. You're not so special that you go by one name. You're not Cher. You're not Madonna. You're some fucking Disney kid that's got a good PR agent and magically, and I think by blackmail, in my opinion, continually gets work.
I don't know. She's got pretty good lips. Maybe she gives good blowjobs.
Well, that's
There's a lot of twos in chat, and Shady Grin says, I refuse.
Yeah, there are a lot of twos. Holy shit, look at that. So, I mean, other than Shady, are y'all even planning on like seeing it at all? March Hare's like,
no.
March Hare's, I'm not watching them further destroy Spider-Man for me. Wow.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people say. I've heard it's bad though.
That's unfortunate. Okay, that's not good. I didn't think that Spider-Man home frauding was all that bad.
Eh.
I mean, outside the fact Laura Harrier's in it, I mean, like it, sure, it was a forced diversity quest, but whatever. You know, the thing I don't understand the most about Spider-Man, Welcome Home or whatever.
See, I like Evolved Potato. I might watch it on totally legit source.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally that's the way to see things. Is it? Why do they do things like, okay, so Peter's best friend is Ned Leeds in the movie, right? The fat Asian kid.
Yeah.
Okay, now I realize you're not a big Spider-Man fan, and that's fine. That's fine. Like Spider-Man comic reader, right?
Is he are they all bullied by Flash Thompson?
Well, see, this is the thing. Flash Thompson is this little, I don't know, Persian, Arab, whatever the fuck looking kid or whatever. And it's supposed to be like, that's the whole reason that Flash is bullying Peter. Like the whole point of it is that he's the big man on campus. Peter's the nerd. That's their interaction. That's their relationship. Yeah. That's the dynamic. If you change that, it's no longer the dynamic. It's like telling a boy meets girl story where the boy and the girl never meet. It's like, whoa, wait, what? You know, like, why even have Flash there at all if he's not going to bully Peter? So how do they make him a bully? They make Flash an asshole. He's a fucking prick. He relentlessly taunts Peter in ways where it's like, Peter, just crush his skull. Get it over with. No one's going to blame you. Mm-hmm. And it's weird how the people around when Flash is like taunting him and like calling him out on the microphone at parties and shit for no fucking reason. Like, it's like, why is everybody around not going, Flash? What the fuck's your problem, you little twerp? And he's a little guy. Tom Holland is a miniature homunculus of a human being, and this kid they got to play Flash is even smaller than him. And I'm amazed that somebody doesn't say, listen, you little shit, what the fuck? What, do you think that's making you look cool, Flash, busting this nerd's balls? You're a little fucking pipsqueak fuck yourself.
See, that just screams to me that like they're taking every dynamic, literally every dynamic that has anything to do with Spider-Man and flipping it on its head for these movies. And you know, given the fact that this is, I guess, now supposed to be taking place on an alternate Earth where Spider-Man didn't get dusted, it says to me that they're trying this intentionally with the idea of saying, well, this isn't the canon Spider-Man because this is a different alternate Earth Spider-Man. I'm like, go fuck yourself.
Well, see, I hear you, and March Hare brings up the central point. Come on, you're telling me that the top of crap is going to be the Hobgoblin because Ned Leeds is the Hobgoblin. The relationship like that they had, Leeds and Peter Parker, is that they were colleagues, but really competitors, but kind of friends in the field of journalism and photojournalism, as Peter was, right? Like that's who they were. They weren't high school friends. That wasn't his one buddy that he could confide in that he was Spider-Man. Like, so why did you? Okay, but you do want this character in the movie. You want him to have a fat, likable Asian buddy that he confides in. Hey, I'm Spider-Man, so they can talk about it. All right. Why did you name him Ned Leeds? What was the point in that? Like, it's a completely different character. Okay, you didn't want to do Spider-Man's photographic journalist associate. Cool. So then why did you use his name?
No, maybe this was some sort of cross-marketing thing with a hoagie shop named Ned's or Hobbs. And really, he's gobbling them all up because he's the hobgoblin. See? That's why he's fat.
Goblin.
Yeah, he's gobbling them down.
God damn it, Jack.
I like frosted glass, though. Hashtag blob goblin.
See, but the point of that is that I got some good laughs out of thinking about Ned Leeds, like the kid in the movie becoming the hobgoblin, like this big fat tub of shit getting on a goblin glider, and the goblin glider can't quite get off the ground because he's a big fat fuck. But it can, but he can only get like a few feet. So you see this goblin glider going put like up and down in a zigzag fashion, trying to take his fat lard ass down the street.
This goblin glider is just a rascal he stole from Walmart.
With his big fat rolls sticking out the bottom of the goblin suit because it's too small for him. Yeah,
and he just throws like pumpkin shaped things of sugar at people and gives them diabetes. It's a very long term strategy.
Yeah, frosted glass, the blob goblin. Yeah, that's right. See, I mean, okay, at the very least, like people are like, okay, Liz Allen. Polly, you're so into Laura Harrier. Liz Allen isn't black. She's a white girl with blonde hair and blue eyes. I'm like, that's true. They did race flip her. They tokenized her. There's no question. But at the very least, she was a girl that Peter went to high school with and was friends with and was thinking about, like, etc. At least it's the same. They have the same dynamic between them at a minimum. I mean, why even call that character Ned Leeds? You might not Ned, not Flash. That's who these characters actually are, and not MJ, of course.
Oh no, she's the new MJ. You got to learn to accept it, you bigot.
Yeah, I know. Rachel Leishman called you out specifically on the second episode of Well, Actually, on the Mary Sue's YouTube channel.
Yeah. See, I've been trying to convince Quiz of this, and he doesn't seem to be wanting.
Wait, did they actually call out Polydub specifically?
No, they just called out people who said that Zendaya isn't actually Mary Jane.
Because last week the stream's title was Zendaya is not Mary Jane Watson. And
I was just hoping they actually called us out specifically.
Oh, that'd be awesome! Right? Oh my god!
No, wait, no, it wouldn't, because as I was saying, I was trying to convince Quiz. When we talk bad about the Mary Sue, we're punching down. Our microscopic channel do better than they do. Like in terms of views per size of subscribers, our awesome audience, are actually more consistent, watch more of our stuff, like it more than all of the fucking people who like and actually watch the Mary Sue. Think about that for a second.
Well, here's the thing, Polly, right? Okay, let me just bounce this idea off you, right?
All right.
The one thing you'll bring up here in a second is that they get mostly irony views, right?
Yeah.
Like any of this, because bear in mind, people, the second episode of the Well Actually show with Princess Weeks and Rachel Leishman actually has over 900 views. Okay, it's more than we get. All right.
Yeah, it is.
But if they call us out specifically and they get nothing but ironic views, that is free advertisement for comic book curation.
I mean, do you think that they have the time at the Mary Sue with their Well Actually show to address all of the people that call them out? That's all the show would be.
Yes.
Like we're the only ones online. They exist like the Root almost solely for the purpose of having people laugh at them.
Yes. I'm just saying, man, if we get called out by the Mary Sue, that's just free advertising for us.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
Which reminds me, we're about to jump into our first story here. And if you just came in or you've been here already and you haven't hit that like button, by all means do so. And share on Twitter. You can simply retweet the tweet that we sent out inviting people over with the link in it and all that jazz.
Retweet.
Yes. So let's start with something fun. I got something for Jack.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I was looking at, because it's Wednesday's new comic book day, right? And I was looking around at what's new, and here's something for you, buddy. Charlie's Angels versus the Bionic Woman.
Oh, I have mixed feelings about this.
Come on, you love such and such versus so and so.
I do, but they're gonna do it wrong because it's Dynamite.
Yeah, it is Dynamite. That's true.
It's gonna be a validation fest.
What is with these Greg Land-esque faces? Greg Land is famous for doing this, clipping out photo faces and then like pasting them together to create a face. Like it doesn't look drawn like the rest of it looks drawn. It looks
I think
Photoshop
they actually have to do that as part of their licensing agreement.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
So
they license the shows, but they do it with all their licensed shows from like Universal. So you'll see them do that with a lot of the different shows like Bionic Woman, Charlie's Angels, and sometimes Bionic Man, but that's owned by a slightly different company because of the way the syndication thing works. I think that's actually part of the contract is they have to have like some photorealistic covers on there.
And you're right about the covers because the inside, oh yeah, now that's an alternative cover I would buy. Variants galore.
Oh yeah,
come on. You actually did a variant cover for. I mean, you did a variant cover though for Charlie's Angels versus the Bionic Woman. Who's going to buy?
Yeah, that's where they're making their money because the story's crap.
Oh man, it's like there's the art.
Yeah,
by artist Sue Lee, who I'm assuming is Korean, with the name Sue Lee.
That's probably a dude. I don't know.
I think like look at the actual art though. Yeah, like yo man,
that's actually pretty good for Dynamite.
I mean,
that's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad.
It's hey man, you're gonna be really good one day. Keep working.
Mm-hmm.
You should see the garbage art they turned out last time on their Charlie's Angels miniseries. Like the story was okay, but then it got really dumb really quick after like issue 3. It started to go, but the art was awful through the entire thing.
Oh, Fatty57 says it's 1980s Marvel. That's so cold, man. That's such an insult to 1980s Marvel.
Well, no, it's not 1980s Marvel because it doesn't have the dot matrix colorization.
Well, one of the things that becomes quite clear is like, you know, how you through watching art reviews, because I myself am not an artist. I'm a customer and a consumer. Through watching a bunch of art reviews, though, perspective and foreshortening are tough. They're not easy, and it's a talent to do it right. That's why everybody looks like they're on the same two-dimensional plane when the artist isn't. Like, hey, anime face, this is not an anime comic. What are you doing? What's going on?
That's what a lot of these garbage tier artists do. Like, this art's actually not bad, but they always throw in the cutesy face from anime.
It doesn't seem to be able to be avoided. And you see what I mean? Like everything looks like, you know, 2D diorama cutouts, like fake 3D, if you know what I mean. Foreshortening is rarely ever done. If it is, it's not done well. Like here it's done. You can see what the artist was trying to get at, but it's not terribly complex because that's tough. That's not easy to do. And like, see, look at the size of the anime eyes. They're completely out of proportion. Like, man, no one's mouth is smaller across than their eyes are across.
Yeah. No, eyes should be at the very least 3/4 the size of a mouth.
Oh shit. So anyway,
at the most 3/4 the size of a mouth.
I think this goes back to what we've said a lot, is that when you're Dynamite or whoever, your page rate for artists and writers is quite low. And this is what happens. Artists are willing to take what is actually very, very small pay for the sake of exposure of their art. You know, it's like, yeah, I'm getting like chumped off with minimal pay, but at least my stuff's out there so I can start to develop a resume. You know, and unfortunately, like, it's not just Dynamite and IDW guys. Marvel does it.
Marvel's actually worse than Dynamite in a lot of cases.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, there it is. I saw Charlie's Angels versus Bionic Woman, and I thought, Jack.
Well, to be fair, it is in the pile of stuff I have to pick up at the comic shop.
Oh no! Don't tell me you're gonna buy that.
Oh no, I'm getting it for free.
Okay.
So yeah, let's I got a few bounding into comic stories this week. Let's just start off real quick with one I haven't even read. Daisy Ridley on Rian Johnson's Star Wars: The Last Jedi Backlash. Quote, I wasn't surprised.
Wow. Is it because she's a strong, independent woman that don't need no man?
She's all like, shock my imagine.
Well, I'm just hoping this story isn't based around a single tweet. I mean, it's bounding into comics. Usually they're not rolling like that, but we'll see. So as we know, we're reading on the internet. So we skipped the first sentence because it's the headline over again. Ridley sat down for an interview with USA Today. Ooh, top level journalism, where she was asked if she was surprised by the backlash and controversy surrounding Johnson's The Last Jedi. Ridley responded, I wasn't surprised. No, it's just a different thing. Okay. She would go on to add she believes the backlash is fair as well. Okay, let's get some context. Quote, everyone's going to have an opinion now anyway on the internet. No, everyone already had opinions, Daisy. Now the internet allows them to say it and people actually listen for some reason. But I also think it's fair. If people hold something incredibly dear and they think they know how it should be, and it's not like that, it's fair for people to think they've done wrong. She would advocate...
Did she just do people don't think it'd be like this, but it do? That's what that rambling reminded me of, man.
Well, she would add the caveat. It doesn't mean they were ultimately. Ryan's a filmmaker, and one person can't dictate a film is supposed to be, but freedom of expression, sure. Wow. I read that as written. She stumbled her way through that to try and yeah, I get it. Nobody liked the film. I'm sorry. I read what was on the script. Rian Johnson wrote and directed the film. I had to listen to him. What am I going to do? Not that's what that reads like to me.
Not like I can just go on strike. Well, technically, really, Ridley, you can. I'm just saying.
The backlash to The Last Jedi divided the Star Wars fan base that actually started with Solo. Let's be honest. Well, most noticeably with Solo, I think would be better to say. Yeah. With what appears to be a majority of film goers disliking the movie. On the once credible Rotten Tomatoes, the film currently has a 44% audience score. That score would similarly be reflected on Metacritic, where the user score sits at 4.4. with over 4,000 negative reviews and only 2,900 positive. Jesus. Oh, there's some budget numbers here. That might be interesting. Not only do people express their dislike for the film, but the negative reaction appears to also have harmed the Star Wars brand at the movies. The most recent Star Wars film, Solo, A Star Wars Story, was a massive bomb. The film only grossed $392 million worldwide and at a $275 million production budget. Keep in mind, chat, that excludes their promotional budget, which is usually double their production budget.
Yeah.
Doubles that number, I should say. The Star Wars Special Edition re-release performed better at the adjusted box office by nearly $70 million. A film that's been out for how long? At that point,
in the 90s. It was the late 90s, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it would have been 20 years, if it was in the late 90s, because the film came out in the late 70s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so a film that's been out for 20 years, they remastered it and put some CGI sand creatures walking around and such.
Yeah,
and
no one wanted.
I like the Mos Eisley scenes. I still hold to that.
Okay. I can immediately shoot that down, though, Polly.
You quiz? Get out of here.
Yeah, Jabba the Hutt face when Han Solo steps on his tail.
Well, okay, from the theatrical or the Blu-ray? And don't say both.
Well, I've only seen the theatrical. I haven't seen the
Okay.
Blu-ray.
Well, the theatrical Jabba overall does look ridiculous, especially the look he gives
Yeah.
when. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Nope. I like the original better before they CGI'd in the giant slug when Jabba was just a big fat dude.
But that was never a scene like in the film. That was a deleted.
No, it was a scene. It was a deleted scene.
Yeah, but it was never in the film.
Out there. Yes, so but then Han just walks behind him. He doesn't have to step on his tail because he doesn't have one. He's just a big fat dude.
I don't know, man. Big fat dudes can have tails.
You know what they could have done that never occurred to me before? Why didn't they just have that guy be Jabba's representative? And like ADR in him saying, Jabba's representative. Like, Jabba's deal maker.
Oh, that would have been too easy. And we both know that Lucas got a shiny new toy with the whatever video editor it was. And he's like, I'm going to use this. Let's fix everything.
You mean I'm going to pay people to use this and show up every week to see how it's going for 5 minutes?
Same thing.
Right.
It's the Thomas Edison effect. You get credit for it.
Did it? Frosted Glass said the Jabba scene repeats the Greedo scene word for word. Does it?
The Jabba scene repeats the Greedo scene.
Yeah, like where Greedo intercepts Han and sits him back down and they talk.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I know they have a long conversation that they just CGI'd in the giant slug.
Huh.
I'd have to go back and watch it. I wasn't paying that close of attention.
Let's say I have the original trilogy on DVD, which is the CGI Fest DVD. So.
All right, here we go. This one's super fun, guys. Spider-Man Far From Home actor Tom Holland open to a gay Spider-Man.
Oh my God.
What, does Zendaya have a penis?
Well, see, yes, but that's not the subject of this article. Okay, come on, man. She's even got a thigh gap. She got her tuck game down tight. It's fine.
Look, I would have sex with Zendaya, but I wouldn't tell you guys.
You heard it here first, Quiz. Jack likes ladyboys.
Yeah.
No, she's not Thai.
There are non-Thai ladyboys, I think.
Are they? Well, how would we know?
I
don't
know.
Go up asking non-Thai people if I could see their junk. That'd
but
be weird.
Implying you
do
right,
Thailand.
Because it's not weird to walk up to Taiwanese people and say, "Yo, let me see your junk."
Not in Thailand. It's perfectly acceptable. It's etiquette. Hey, what equipment you got? I'm
pressing X to doubt here, man. That doesn't seem like it's that's like.
Yeah, because they had a problem with the ladyboys getting beat up because they have a lot of plastic surgery. It's actually like one of the places to go for plastic surgery.
Eve is wondering what's wrong with ladyboys. Jack not only thinks there's nothing wrong with ladyboys, but in fact prefers ladyboys. So but
I have no issue with ladyboys. But if I'm gonna have sex with a dude, it's gonna be because I accidentally banged a dude in Thailand.
Accidentally.
Some things happen. I suppose. I don't know.
Hate Camel says, "How do you know there's non-Thai ladyboys? Have you done the research?" No, I said I'm assuming. I said because I have no idea. I'm not a ladyboy guy. Ladyboy guy. See, these are the words we get stuck with in clown world.
Ladyboy guy. I mean, I suppose it's better than being a lady guy boy.
Which is distinct how?
I don't know where we're at anymore.
All right. Where we're at is me not having read this article, Spider-Man Far From Home actor Tom Holland open to a gay Spooderman.
I thought we were talking about Zendaya, maybe a dude.
Yeah.
Well,
is that in this article?
Well, I haven't read it yet.
Oh.
And this is my point. Not having read this, I think that what's going to happen is that some news entertainer passing themselves off as a journalist who's not even qualified as an interviewer is going to ask Tom Holland all these woke questions, and he's going to say, yeah, sure, why not? Inclusivity. Because what the fuck else are you going to say when retards ask you retarded questions?
Don't we already have a gay Spider-Man? Isn't that Miles Morales?
Miles Morales isn't gay. I'll have you know. I have no idea if he is or not.
All right. Let's see if my guess is correct. We skip the first sentence. Holland made his comments during an interview with the UK's The Times while making the rounds for Spider-Man Far From Home press tour. When asked if he thought there could be a gay Spider-Man, he responded, yeah, of course. Booyah, motherfuckers, called it. Yeah. Because retards ask retarded questions, and the interviewers, sorry if anyone out there is developmentally disabled. I mean, retarded. And because, I mean, seriously, the people that are developmentally disabled are so much easier to get along with than journalists.
Well, see, that's the thing, is that like developmentally challenged people are not retards. These journalists are retards.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the disparagement is aimed not at people who have a developmental issue of one sort or another, but these people who are just like, they're choosing to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, like, what are you fucking asking them for? Can you imagine what actors talk like with their PR people and to each other after they get off a press junket promoting a movie? Can you believe it's like, oh my God, they get more retarded every time I go out there. The fuck are you asking about gay Spider-Man for?
Nah, they go out there and they're like, God, I'm so woke, yo.
Yeah,
right.
See, this is Kyle asked, who's a well-known gay character? Can we make them straight? I would love to see that page get flipped, but you know it's never going to happen.
Yeah,
you're never going to hear North Star going out and finding a girlfriend. You're never going to hear about Batwoman having sex with Bruce Wayne.
Right.
Not after 1950, no.
Yeah.
As to when a gay Spider-Man could appear on the big screen, Holland noted that was out of his hands. No fucking kidding. That's the right answer. It's the fuck are you asking? Quote, I can't talk about the future of the character because I honestly don't know, and it's out of my hands. He gives the only honest answer he could to the retard who asked him some stupid shit. However, he would reveal that some of Marvel's plans of the future include, quote, I do know a lot about the future of Marvel, and they are going to be representing lots of different people in the next few years. The world isn't as simple as a straight white guy, his PR agent told him to tell him. It doesn't just end there, and these films need to represent more than one type of person. Okay, great. Holland would then note that his appearance on Lip Sync Battle as Rihanna. So you blackfaced?
Oh, did he blackface?
Holland then noted his appearance on a lip sync battle as Rihanna helped a young boy who wears women's clothes gain confidence.
What, Desmond?
I have no idea about this. Okay, quote, I met a lady in Texas who had a young boy in her school who likes to wear women's clothes. He was bullied. Then I dressed as Rihanna, and she told me the boy felt so much more confidence because he saw Spider-Man do it. That was really touching. Me just doing a dance routine helped someone. Okay. The question about LGBT representation isn't a new one for Marvel or Spider-Man because they keep forcing the issue because they're woke as fuck and don't give a fuck about actually selling comics anymore. Back in 2017, Spider-Man Homecoming actors Jacob Batalon and Laura Harrier supported the idea of a trans boy Peter Parker during a Jesus Christ.
Trans boy.
Do you have any idea how hard it is to tuck in a Spider-Man costume? You got to respect it. Anyway, during a Q&A session on Tumblr, hey,
oh God,
somebody on Tumblr asked about trans boy Spider-Man. Press 1 if you're shocked. Press 2 if you could have told that story yourself. Fucking hell.
And say all I gotta say about you bringing up trans boy. Trans boy?
Trans boy. Yeah.
Trans boy.
Yeah. But, the reason is like, what do you think of Peter Parker is a good idea? Oh, yeah. Okay. Spider-Man Far From Home will also feature transgender actor Zach Herrick.
Frosted Glass. It's Spider-Man!
Oh my God. So you want to have an actual woke moment in Spider-Man Homecoming. Have gorgeous, stunning Laura Harrier walk up and go, Peter, I'm really interested in you, and like cut this kind of like, flirtatious look at him. And then him say, well, I don't have a penis. And then her going, oh, well, that's fine because I'm woke. And then they go off hand in hand. Well, let's see how well that plays in China.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Kyle is right. We're just being a bunch of bigots.
Yeah.
We're just being bigots. It's true. It's we should move on. But is this not blackface? Am I missing something here?
Well, the only thing I got to say about that is, did you see who his opponent was in lip sync battle?
No.
Zendaya. It's
Well,
an episode I think you're going to want to watch, especially considering it's hosted by LL Cool J. Your favorite, Polly.
LL Cool J hosts that?
Yes.
This is and people that are like in movies, like actors and shit, like come do this. This sounds like Jimmy Fallon's cringy ass skits done as a show.
Uh-huh.
Oh man, fuck Hollywood. Y'all are weird, man.
I watched a single part of, and the worst part about it is too, is that like the single part that I watched was for YouTubers. They had YouTubers on to do the lip sync battle. So they had Lele Pons and some other fucking asshole I don't even know. But I watched the majority of Lele Pons' lip sync, and I was like, nope, never again. I'm good.
Ebony Williams asked if you ever thought of having Young Rippa on, as in Young Rippa 5'9", Eric July. Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of Eric July's streams and videos, man. He's fucking cool.
Young Rip is great. I love his stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely thought about it. I gotta reach out. I mean, I don't know. It shouldn't be, because everyone's just a person on the internet. You know what I mean? And he's like, yeah, reach out and shit. But I don't know. It's still a little intimidating to hit up someone who's got what's he got, 150,000 subs and shit. He's always pulling in hundreds and hundreds of people for his live streams. Not that we don't love our audience, because they're the best on YouTube, but you know. Yeah, absolute clown world. March Hare's right. I mean, all right, let's move on to another story. This is fucking nuts. See what I mean? You see why comics are becoming a creative wasteland? And I haven't. Oh, well, let's talk about the creative wasteland as comics. This story's fucking perfect for that. Recent comic book writer Zoe Quinn. Zoe Quinn is a comic book writer. That's a creative wasteland, guys. You understand what I'm talking about now?
Mm-hmm.
Miss never written a piece of fiction except for when she tells stories from her own life is given oh, hey, here's a golden opportunity. A lot of writers would fucking very nearly sell their soul for the chance that you had. You wrote crap, honey, but it doesn't matter because they're buying for your name, not for anything you do. Anyway.
Yeah.
DC Comics writer Zoe Quinn. Oh God. Sorry, I need to take a minute after saying that.
No, she's not a DC Comics writer. She's a Vertigo Comics writer, and she is the death knell of that imprint. Thank you very much. So it should be post-mortem for Vertigo Comics, the death of Vertigo Comics writer Zoe Quinn. There you go. That's a more apropos title.
The final nail in the coffin of DC Vertigo imprint that we've named Zoe Quinn. We've called that nail Zoe Quinn. Attempts to excuse
Zoe Quinn. Wouldn't that be that one journalist that kicked off Gamergate?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he would be the one that's nailing Zoe Quinn. I'm just saying.
Attempts to excuse Antifa assault on reporter Andy Ngo. DC Comics, right, skip the first sentence. Ngo was attacked by a number of members of Antifa as they hit and pelted him with a milkshake. The Washington Examiner reports, and a number of protesters yelled, "Get the fuck out of here, go home, Andy Ngo," and fucking owned, bitch. Eels Miles Chung. This guy's still a thing? I thought he got the fuck off of the internet.
No,
don't say anything. You'll get swatted.
Anyway, this gay Asian reporter got the shit kicked out of him, and it's fine. Let's hear why.
Oh my God! And if there wasn't enough reason to hate her, look at what she names herself on Twitter.
What?
I'm not saying it. I've given.
Where is it?
It's right there under the surgery thing. The check mark under the Portland police. She's not going by her real name.
Unburnt Witch is her handle?
Yes.
She goes as Awoo Bowl.
I have said, and I have gone out and said it. If I ever utter phonetically those three words, end me. That is a cry for help and a submission to my inevitable demise. Put a bullet in my brain pan if I ever mutter those 3 words phonetically. Or 3 letters phonetically.
All right. So we see Andy Nino here, and he caught some beats. Like you saw in the video, he got some beats, and he obviously has marks and bruises and cuts to prove it. Portland police tweeted out, police have received information that some of the milkshakes thrown today during the demonstration contained quick-drying cement. We're encouraging anyone hit with the substance today to report it to the police. Again, quick-drying cement. To which the unburnt witch here, Awoo bowl. Yeah, I'm not down with that shit. Sugar makes it impossible for cement to actually solidify. But okay, go off. Are you gonna tell us about moon rocks too? And I'm not trusting your grasp on chemistry. I'm just not.
I hear that there's magic dirt out there. Beto O'Rourke ate some.
Things got even weirder. The news reported that when the sludgy mess was discovered, staff had rushed to nearby shops to buy bags of sugar to throw on it. This, they said, stops the concrete from setting so quickly, so it could be cleaned up before it damaged equipment. This intrigued us in the CW office. Why sugar? It seems bizarre that something simple and readily available could have this effect. It turns out this trick is well known in the construction industry, and builders often use small amounts of sugar or sugary liquid as an instant retardant for concrete on hot days to stop it from drying too quickly and cracking.
But it still dries. That's the point.
Yeah. So let's see. She goes... Zoe says again, sugar is usually used in construction to stop cement from solidifying, but I'm sure this false demonization that's coming from the Portland Police Department has nothing to do with the report on them collaborating with far-right groups that just came out. Right?
Are you fucking kidding me? They stood down, you dumb bitch.
Well, let's see.
If anyone is collaborating, they're collaborating with Antifa. Go fuck yourself, you cunt.
Quinn's claim is true that sugar slows the process of cement solidifying. Chemistry World reports that if sugar and concentration exceeds 1% of the cement mixture, it will refuse to harden altogether. The Telegraph notes that sugar interferes with the hydration process by blah, 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 blah. They also note that some of the theories suggest that also blah, 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 blah. However, just because sugar stops cement from hardening does not mean it is no less dangerous when wet. In fact, wet cement can inflict chemical burns. It's also possible that the sugar only slowed the process of the cement from hardening and didn't actually prevent it. Even partial set cement can cause a great deal of physical damage. Leaving aside the simplification here, the country isn't in a place anymore where it can avoid these situations. When we're up against a force that wants to visit violence on so many as an end goal and won't back down, there will be times and scenarios when those opposed to violence will only be able to choose between fighting back or being hurt. So
you're talking about Antifa's victims there, aren't you?
So rather than ruling out violence entirely, in my opinion, we need to focus on accountability and responsibility regarding when to use it, instead of the mainstream left's push to apologize to fascism for hurting its feelings and condemn all Antifa violence.
Show me a fascist in the entire rant that Antifa went up against. Show me one. Show me one. Just one. Just fucking one.
They're invisible.
Well, I mean, okay. I don't understand when to use it. It's like, but you didn't say that the violence visited upon this gay Asian reporter, like this racist homophobic attack. Because he was gay, it had to be homophobic. Because he's Asian, it had to be racist. This is the logic, right?
Yeah.
So this racist homophobic attack, you didn't denounce it. You instead said we should consider accountability, but all of their violence shouldn't be ruled out. But you didn't denounce it, so you're okay with this racist homophobic attack?
Yeah, because it's Antifa that did it, so they can do no wrong to her.
I mean, I guess the point is good or whatever. I don't really know if that much time was necessary in this story to clear up the cement thing. I guess people that have been pushing holy shit cement and milkshakes is horrible. I I remember very clearly, like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, when Carl Benjamin, Sargon of Akkad, getting hit with milkshakes. Other people running for office in Britain are getting hit with milkshakes. And you got guys online like, "Hi, I think I'm real," calling them pussies. Other people saying, "Why are you afraid of a milkshake?" I'd say, "Thanks for the milkshake, dude. Quit being a pussy," etc. Like it's not public humiliation for the purpose of public humiliation. And people said, you have to expect a violent response when you're having shit thrown at you. Why? It's just a milkshake. Because it could have anything in it. Acid, who the fuck knows? People put cement in there not knowing that it wouldn't harden Zoe. They assumed that it would. Why else put cement in there at all? Because you thought it would turn it into a discrete weapon. Why are you defending? Well, they were. So really what you're arguing is not that they weren't trying to be violent in a racist, homophobic way, but they were incompetent in the means of violence they picked.
Well, not only that, is that what does she think is the end goal of using cement, right? Because the cement is for the chemical burns from the alkaline, right? It's not because she's not thinking Antifa's going out there and giving them cement shoes and going to throw them in the bay, right? You dumb cunt. What was the point of the concrete then? Huh?
So what? Obviously to injure in one way or another. But she spends her time going, well, hey, it wouldn't have hardened anyway. But if you want to keep saying that, then go ahead. And look who she was responding to when she was saying that, by the way, because she had to weigh in. Somebody else.
Ryan
just
Johnson?
No, not the Ryan Johnson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like just look at the statement though. It's okay. It says he's a journalist and it's his job to cover it. Antifa were the ones making cement into milkshakes and throwing it at him. That makes them the nefarious ones. Sugar actually makes it impossible for cement. But they were trying to injure him, Zoe. Obviously. And what's her actual name? Karen or something like that?
Don't dead name her. Oh my god.
No. She changed her name to seem exotic and interesting. And remember, you have to put an accent over one of the letters because that makes it cool. It's Zoe.
You know who else puts little accents over their names? The Germans.
You know what's even worse than that, Polly?
Huh?
You want me to depress you even more?
Her last name's Vandenberg.
No, you know what her middle name is?
Adolf.
Tiberius.
Like her actual name or her new name?
Well, it's her other names are Zoe Tiberius Quinn on her Wikipedia page.
Like, what a ridiculous airhead floozy whore, in my opinion. Like,
well, that was too long to put on the application.
What a ridiculous fool this person is. What a trash heap. And she now has the moniker in front of her name, DC Comics writer.
Her original name was Chelsea Van Balkenburg.
See? Not exotic enough. And I want to name myself after Harley Quinn and James Tiberius Kirk because nerd cred.
Oh my god. All of my I am just a funnel of hate for Zoe Quinn.
Fuck it. Who fucking it? See, this is why I said I was reading comics. I was having a good time. I was enjoying what I was reading. And then I started collecting stories for this week. And it was like, comics are dying, man. And the people that are running it are like the people trying to exacerbate and speed up the euthanasia.
Yeah. They're the ones that are holding the lethal injection syringe.
Do I have any fun stories left, or are they all angering ones? Hold on, let me look.
Frosted Glass. Hello, fellow nerds. Zoe Quinn.
Right?
I am not the destroyer here to destroy your hobby.
I don't know. Let's cover this motherfucker real quick. I mean, it's not fun, but whatever. Sony joins Warner Brothers, DC, and Universal in skipping San Diego Comic-Con 2019.
Yep.
Quiz, I heard your take on it on Twitter. Share it with us for those who haven't read it already. What's your call on why they're skipping?
The San Diego Comic-Con has been dying for a very long time. There have been people that have been pulling out of San Diego for, several years now. It used to be the Mecca, man. Like every single person, when they wanted to go and nerd out and do comic book shit, you went to San Diego Comic-Con. It was the con to go to. And nowadays there's so many other conventions, especially ones that are specifically designed around the certain things that would get hype from San Diego Comic-Con, and they're much more cost effective to just go to their own con and skip doing any sort of promotion there, as well as opening up other mass media outlets. I mean, do you think that they get as much exposure putting out the new Star Wars film trailer at San Diego Comic-Con as they would by putting it out on YouTube and then paying for advertisements on YouTube? I don't think so.
Well, they do it at their Star Wars celebration anyway. So your call on it
and that
would be summarized as what? San Diego Comic-Con is just too expensive and it's not worth going there.
That, and the fact that attendance has never dropped. It's the fact that there's far too few people that get the exposure by going to the panels because there's only so many people that can fit inside a goddamn convention center.
Yeah. I had a call somewhat similar to Jack's where it was just, I don't think that they've got anything big to reveal. They got like on the horizon such that it makes the expense of doing San Diego worth it. Because it is really expensive to do it. When you have a panel that has all of the actors and actresses and non-binary individuals that are going to be starring in a film and the directors and stuff, if it's not part of the regular press junket, if it's not falling during that period, they have to pay them to show up there.
Yeah.
Because they're paid to do the press junket. It's included in their contract. So that's one example of how it's quite expensive to put together some stuff for Warner Brothers, DC, Universal, and Sony. Like if they don't have something dropping like in the very near future or something new to reveal, why even go? And there it is. Also, that's my call.
That's also the fact that all of these things, DC is not DC Comics. It's DC the movies, Warner Brothers DC. So any of this sort of stuff, it's all pertaining to the movies. DC Comics I guarantee you, are going to be at San Diego Comic-Con.
What do you think, Jack?
I already said on Twitter that I think this was just, they're not going to, they either have nothing or they have garbage and they don't want to spend the money. It's too expensive to do it. And honestly, San Diego Comic-Con hasn't been a Comic-Con in 15 years.
Yeah, it's a movie celebrity hub.
And the tickets are priced way out of range.
Yeah.
So the average person doesn't go anymore. They've kind of lost their original audience, which was people that would go see the movies.
Yeah. And
now it's just a pop culture fest, and you get
like if you look at this picture, it explains a lot of like what's going on there. Like they're all wearing their Venom masks, and fans attend Sony Pictures Venom in 2018 San Diego Comic-Con in Panel Hall H. They're all handed these out. The whole point, like those masks, I mean, as they're walking in, they're not super fans of Venom and then bought these fucking masks. The people in the back, notice, like once you get like 7-8 rows back, they don't have the fucking masks on. See, back there, it's just it's all this is promotion. This big fat tittied, long-haired, neck-bearded fuck didn't even tie his mask on. He's just holding it up to his face for the sake of the fucking picture. It's just promotion.
If you wear the mask, it ruins the resale value on eBay.
Oh, and holding it up to his sweaty neck beard doesn't?
Not in his mind.
Sorry, Chad. I'm particularly salty this week because I was in such a good mood, and I'm so crestfallen after reading the stories. It's just like, fuck.
That's the thing, is that San Diego's Comic-Con's death knell has been a long time coming, and I am not shocked to hear that all of those outlets are pulling out of doing a convention, bit there. So when it comes to this sort of stuff, I think you'll find more and more movies and other things that aren't specifically comics are going to be pulling out of San Diego Comic-Con, which in my opinion actually is kind of a good thing. If San Diego Comic-Con turns back into a comic convention instead of a new Star Wars movie, new Marvel movie, new DC movie fest, then maybe people will start, respecting the comics more. I mean, call me naive, but
that is naive. Like, there's no going back. It would be like asking Man's Chinese Theater to go back to showing, little films and being an art house cinema. Like, hey, yeah, right. Like, it's just, no, there's no going back. The thing either shuts down or they'll decide a new city to host it. I don't want to talk about that anymore. It's too depressing. And there's some fraudulent person in chat named Ranting Monkey Games. I don't like it when people impersonate my friends. you fraud. Anyway.
Oh man, James Colley. Too bad Zoe Quinn is a leftist zealot. She looks fuckable naked. Disagree, sir. Ugh. Zoe Quinn.
Oh yeah. I don't know, Jack. You're down to fuck pretty much anything. What
hey, now. She's not Asian.
She's okay. Well, you've seen the her, get this, leaked nude pictures that she
I love it. Yeah.
Contractually paid for and everything.
Yeah, but, leaked nudes from suicidegirls.com. That shit was not leaked. You took them professionally, you dumb fucking cunt.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
By the way, if you want to see Zoe Quinn's nude pics that weren't leaked, she got paid to do nude photography with Suicide Girls. She signed a contract. Those photos became their property. She got paid the money for them. You can go check them out at Encyclopedia Dramatica on her page. I won't post the link, but just, yeah.
You can wiki it. It's
that's what
available.
I mean. Her nude pictures are everywhere. And she's like, oh my God, I didn't want the whole world looking at me. So you took money to stand in front of a camera naked and sign them over to the property of someone else? What the fuck are you talking about? Like,
right? Give Sinatra a wrench, dude.
Why doesn't Sinatra already have a wrench?
I have no idea.
He's got his fancy gray check mark because he's got a channel with over 100,000. I'm totally jealous of. Anyway, here, look, fine. We'll add it there. He's added as a moderator. He's next level awesome. he's leveled up. But unlike Sinatra, I don't have a million DBZ gifts to show of what's his name? Geico, Recco. What's his name?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Goku, yeah. Goku leveling up.
Gecko!
I don't watch DBZ, man. I got an excuse.
Assassin called her Zoe Five Guys, and I was just thinking of the burger chain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the joke, right? Five Guys is exactly how she got Depression Quest. Is it? Man, I'd love
Yeah, but I was thinking of the food place. I'd never heard her called Zoe Five Guys before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, that was
whenever just ruined that fast food chain for me.
Yeah, that's actually an old Gamergate joke. Oh, I just said Gamergate.
Demonetized.
Yeah. Wait, we're stepping on Monday Matt's toes. Shit.
Yeah.
No, you said his name. He's gonna show up.
That whenever anybody would name Zoe Quinn, someone would put up a picture of a Five Guys location or whatever the fuck, just to endlessly poke fun at her. Okay, what is the next least depressing story that I got?
Well, Cynical Lindsay just brought it up. Walking Dead came to an end today.
Oh yeah, the comic book did come to an end. That's right.
Yep, 193.
So
not a bad run.
Yeah, that's a hell of a run. 193 issues. Yeah.
I just hope that that there was an end in mind. Because I mean, comic books should not go on to in perpetuity. The problem is that some characters keep on getting rebooted and stuff like that. I don't necessarily have a problem with that because I mean more Batman stories are all well and good, but every story should have a beginning, middle, and end. And then when the story picks up again, it's starting a new story. You know what I mean? You would think that Tom King's run with the Batman Wedding would have been a beginning, middle, and end. But it just kept going.
Tom King can't end anything.
Yeah.
Right? Just go on forever and ever. So I don't know. I never read The Walking Dead. I've heard great things. Satisfying conclusion. Cynical Lindsay thinks that it was.
I've not read it yet.
Okay.
I'm of the panel here. I think I'm the only one that actually does read the Walking Dead comics. Do you read it, Jack?
No, I picked up this last issue just to see what it was all about and what the big hype was. And it's like a prestige format I don't know. It's got to be 50 pages easily.
Yeah, and say that's the big thing is that it's prestige format.
And it's only $3.99.
Yeah. You know, I read The Walking Dead, and I've got to say it was losing me. I can't remember exactly what issue I'm on. Shit. Let me see if I can find it real quick. And I could tell you, where's my Walking Dead folder?
I'm about halfway through it, and it's not bad. It does a time jump.
I think I'm at I'm at 173. So I've got was it 193? I've got 20 comics to read. That's not bad. I can, crank that out over the weekend, but it's in 172, I believe it was. No. Shit.
What are you talking about?
I'm looking for a specific issue of Walking Dead. 171. They introduced the most insufferable fucking character that almost lost me. I almost put down the comic and stopped reading it. This character right fucking here.
Is it Zendaya?
No, her name is Princess. She names herself the Princess. And the thing about it is, we talk about Mary Sue. You want to talk about fucking Mary Sue? She shows up out of nowhere with a fucking assault rifle, trained on Michonne, and what does the entire group of people leaving Alexandria think of her? Oh, she's the new best friend. Go fuck yourself. This almost made me stop fucking reading this book, Robert. I sincerely hope this character dies an extremely gruesome death. All I gotta say. That will keep me actually buying Skybound material. Do it, Robert.
Oh, the guy pretending to be Ranting Monkey says that he just got here and Mad Magazine is shutting down and wants to know if we're talking about it. Didn't know Mad Magazine was still being printed.
Yeah, Jack put a link in the side chat for it.
You did?
Yes.
Well, you gotta tell me about these things.
I did. You don't listen to me.
Was someone talking?
Oh, Jack's talking again. I can filter that out.
Yeah, right.
Okay, I do have one story quick and ready to go here. You know, Disney's remaking all of its movies. Its animated movies is live actions, right?
Yes.
Sadly.
Yeah. No. Little Mermaid's being remade. Have you seen who they casted for Little Mermaid?
I have no idea who this person is, but then again, that's my life is literally who. But I did, it's hard not to notice that she is a Black woman. She's very attractive.
She is.
Yeah. Yeah. But the Little Mermaid?
Yes, this is the Little Mermaid. Bigot, what's your problem?
Is this more redhead erasure?
Well,
pretty much.
It's interesting you say that. It's very interesting you say that. We're going to circle around back to that just really quick. Okay. This is from Bleeding Cool. Okay, we talk about Bleeding Cool. Singer Halle Bailey, which sounds like a porn star's version of Halle Berry.
Yeah.
Like, she's got future options listed, that's all.
Like I can't I'm not gonna. I'm like, she's an R&B singer. I've heard of her. She's from Chloe X Haley, but Chloe by Haley depends on how you want to say it. Right. Fuck. Okay, I don't care. I don't watch Disney films. I've never watched Disney films. Every time I say I've never seen Aladdin, Zelthor, all anew gets outraged and hurt and shocked, and you need to see that film. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know how you've never seen it. I mean, you're a little bit younger than me.
Even by accident, you should have seen that movie.
I've never seen any of them. The fucking what I understand is the Little Mermaid has crabs, or she has a crab friend.
Are your parents Amish?
And
Did she have crabs and she had a fishtail? Is the big thing. I don't
know
how does that work.
And what does she sell her looks to some big fat bitch under the sea so she can have legs to fuck some guy?
She sells her voice.
She sells her voice. Okay.
So she's mute when she has legs and a vagina.
Well, then wait a minute. if she's a mute, how come they felt the need to hire a singer so she could sing songs? How's the mute singing
She's
songs?
not mute through the entire thing.
Yeah, she sings when she's a mermaid. When she turns human, she's mute, and then she goes through the MacGuffin of trying to get the prince to kiss her, which releases the spell and gives her her voice back, and then she's able to be human with a voice. But then there's the whole thing where the king does the thing to sacrifice himself for her. It's
No, okay, hold on. If she had no voice, how did she consent to the kiss?
she doesn't.
She signed the paperwork.
So she got raped, is what you're saying.
Kiss raped, yes.
She was violently sexually assaulted in a Disney movie. That's shocking.
Well, did Sleeping Beauty get her consent? What about Snow White?
No, I've heard those ones before. I just didn't realize it also happened in Fish Bitch here. I've never seen any of these Disney films anyway, except for the one that I did watch when I was a kid, and I watched it over and over and over again, and I loved it. Robin Hood. I loved Robin Hood.
Well, was that approved by the bishop of your enclave?
Polly is a furry, confirmed?
My parents are not Amish. I have never resided in an enclave.
Well, I wondered now.
Notice he doesn't deny the furry claim.
Well, I think that kind of goes along with denying being Amish.
Oh,
so because they have those big beards.
Everyone in chat saying she asked for it. You guys are just toxically male as fuck. I love you for it too. Yeah, see, March Hare gets it. Robin Hood is great. Robin Hood and Maid Marian as foxes. It just works. Little John is the big bear and everything. Oh man, when I was a kid, I wore that motherfucker out watching it over and over again. The other one
you had to do it secretly because that old VCR that your dad happened to have, you didn't know what it was. If he had known it was a Satan box,
no, you're missing the point. My childhood isn't owned by a fucking evil fucking corporation. Okay,
it is now. They own Star Wars. They own Marvel.
No. The original trilogy is safe and still in the hands of crazy ass George Lucas.
No, they own everything.
Thank you, March Hare. Yeah, Dark Admiral March Hare here. It's Sword in the Stone. That was the best one. Yeah,
I've heard good things. I've never seen it, but So anyway, this is the remake that they're going to make, and this is the lady they pick. And again, you're right, Quiz. She's a very, very pretty girl. It just doesn't make much sense. So anyway, this article, I'm like, from Bleeding Cool, that's lefty as fuck, and I saw it, Quiz.
No, I love that. Johnny Hellcat, Polydub presents Little Fish Bitch, the story of a girl with crabs who puts herself in danger to get mouth raped.
Well, now I have to add something else to my bucket list.
You know what? I thought Sinatra was kidding when he said he was leaving after I called Goku Gecko, but I think he actually did fucking leave out of frustration.
Yeah, I think he probably did.
I know he's a huge DBZ fan, but holy shit. Okay, anyway. Hold on. I'm just going to just cut and paste that statement out and send it out on Twitter. Whoo, good times. All right. So you guys are a longtime watchers of no, I'm still here, but I was extremely offended. Okay. If he turned his camera around at one point and it was literally a wall of DBZ shit, it was pretty fucking impressive or sad, depending on how you look at it. It was, then again, someone could see my collection of long boxes and,
Well, you do know that Dragon Ball Z is the second best-selling Japanese comic book of all time.
Oh, man, I am never-endingly impressed with the global sales of manga. It's it's big, man. Holy fuck, it dwarfs American comics, man. So anyway, the for those of you longtime watchers of Comic Book Curation Live, you know that we bust balls on Bleeding Cool a lot. They're lefty, they're progressive, they're all of the things. So I fully expected them to make a huge deal of this. Like, oh my gosh, she's black. And they kind of did, kind of didn't. They just promote the shit out of it. You know what I mean? Caitlin Booth. Now, you guys remember Rich Johnston is the founder and former editor-in-chief of motherfucking Bleeding Cool here, right? And then he was replaced, and we thought it was going to go in a slightly different direction, but then it totally didn't. It was like Johnston, was being such a bad editor and was getting so much Comicsgate hate, like was flying at him for constantly writing hit piece after hit piece about Ethan Van Sciver, about your boy Zach Richard Meyer. Story goes on. We never looked very deeply into the new editor-in-chief, who that is. It's this person, Caitlin Booth. So who the hell is that, you might ask? Well, when you click on like the name, it's Caitlin is editor-in-chief of Bleeding Cool. I know it's a small picture. Let's see if we can make it a little bigger. What she has on there. Whoa, shit. Sorry about that, guys. She's got the Power Fist. She's got the Captain Marvel hoodie on. And she's got the problem glasses.
She's ugly, too.
Wait, I've got more pictures. Caitlin is the editor-in-chief of Bleeding Cool. She loves movies, television, comics, and political satire. She's a member of UFCA and Galaga. Feminist, writer, nerd. Follow her. Hold on, I made it too big. Follow her on Twitter at Katie's Movies and Gim on Instagram. She's also the co-host of the tragically unfunny and unwatched The Nerd Dome podcast. You can listen to it at the Nerd Dome podcast.
Oh, it's like the Thunderdome, but with nerds and diabetes.
Yeah. Are you ready for what she looks like now, Jack?
No, but you're going to show me anyway.
I'm going to show you. And you know what? She wants to talk to your manager.
Of course she does. Oh, my. How much you want to bet that one of the sides of her head is shaved underneath that?
Like, who's surprised? Like, this is the most unsurprising thing that's happened since I dropped something and gravity still worked and it fell to the ground. Like, this is pink hair, problem glasses. I'm 34 years old and single. I've got a big, huge honking nose. I'm angry at the fucking world. I'm a feminist, a liberal, and I work as an editor projecting my ideology to the world and calling myself a journalist.
Well, for the record, just because she doesn't have any children now, it's because she didn't want any for realsies.
She has her fur babies. It's fine.
So over here at her Twitter, she's the editor-in-chief of Bleeding Cool, co-host of the Nerdist podcast, ace, liberal, nerd, feminist, writer, replicant translator, she, her, UFCA, Galaga member. Okay, putting replicant translator and bastardizing and fucking Blade Runner right up the ass with no lube doesn't make you a nerd. It makes you an obvious tryhard. The same way that gamers can sniff out fake gamer girls, I can sniff out fake nerds. And honey, you stink.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with P-Dog. And he says, I don't want to be problematic. Did she used to be a dude?
I like Frosted Glasses' comment. That photo has lesbian knitting circle written all over it.
Yeah, no, I'm serious. Like, she kind of has some mannish facial structure.
And, well, you know what?
It's a strong...
Fatty57 brings an interesting point up that I thought myself. Home city, Salt Lake City, Utah, which is a really strong Mormon community. And
yes.
Quiz, as you and I have discussed, some, not all, but certainly noticeably, some of the people that come out of Mormonism and reject it go way the fuck out of Mormonism in the other direction.
Yes, yes they do.
Yeah, that's how people like TJ Kirk are made.
Yes, exactly. TJ Kirk, Bible Belt guy, raised in a religious community, so he dedicates the rest of his life to being a neck-bearded atheist. Like, Jesus, fuck people, move on. So yeah, I thought the same thing. It's like, maybe not everyone who lives in Salt Lake City is a Mormon, just most of them, but you know.
Yeah.
Oh, Fatty57 is actually Mike Parlett. I didn't realize
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that at all. Hey, Mike, how's it going? Wow, I didn't clue into that at all. So one last thing about Miss Caitlin Booth here. She said quite proudly that she's a member of the UFCA and Galaga. So I had to go look up what Galaga is, and I was unsurprised as when gravity still worked again. It's the Society of LGBTQ Entertainment Critics.
What the fuck does Galaga even mean then?
He just said it.
But those that doesn't represent
I
words.
I don't know. Why is this a thing? Aren't you just a critic then?
You're a critic with an agenda. That's what you are.
Yeah, that's what all critics are, aren't they?
So
Well,
does that mean
Just
that they
the
pan
agenda is-
all bad gay movies?
Oh, I don't know. It seems to me that if you're a critic, your agenda is to rank the movie, like to criticize or critique it. I don't know why this exists. Like, who cares if you're gay or trans or whatever? If you're a critic, you're a critic. That's why does this exist?
Well, see, this is what I'm saying. Okay, this goes back. We'll circle back to one of my main criticisms. Twitter is not the world. Social media is not the world. It's just really, really angry people or people that are driven to do something very, very strongly. Go on social media and promote the hell out of it. We are driven very, very strongly for mostly love of comics and the media and movies in and around the characters and stuff like that. Modern mythology, we really dig it. You know what I mean? And it's being destroyed. So you hear the passion is as angry as we get every week about this stuff and in the videos we produce and shit like that. These people are very angry in a different direction. Chips on their shoulders, whatever. But these people get into media positions. I want to be an editor-in-chief, like Kalen Booth here. I'm going to be the editor-in-chief of Bleeding Cool, and every story we write is going to be as progressive and social justice-y as we can possibly fucking make it. And this is what happens at CNN. This is what happens at MSNBC. This is what they're all run by fucking ideologues, and they're not representative of the average person on the street. If you go up to this is why these people who only move in these circles that are members of the Society of LGBTQ Entertainment Critics are crying the night of November 9th, 2016, when Trump wins, because they're like, I don't know anybody that doesn't think he's the devil. How did he win? Russia must have done it. This is the bubble thinking. And this is why we start thinking things like the world's going to fucking hell. No. It's just the people who run media, Google, looking at you, are a bunch of lefties. Marxist scumbag pinkos.
Oh no, the world is going to hell. It's just more nonsense on Twitter than it is in real life.
Cryptic says Streamlabs Polly. Yes. That's Fake Monkey is talking about tweeting out Michael Eric Dyson videos. That better make him look like an asshole, Fake Monkey, or I'm going to be real. I've got a personal beef with. Well, you should. Well, maybe you don't because you're a fake monkey. But Michael Eric Dyson, he's not a subject to be discussed here on this stream. He's not. He's
literally who?
He's a pro-black, meaning professionally black man who is a sociologist in the worst way that somebody can be, and rants and raves about social justice issues, and managed to worm his way into a full tenureship at, of all places, Georgetown University.
Oh, and that guy. I heard you rant about him once before.
Yes, and he has his own media agent who promotes him, and that's why he's on late night talk shows, and he's on this and he's on that, where he goes on and uses multisyllabic words and speaks at a super fast pace to confuse the fuck out of people. But if you slow it down and think about what he's saying, it's all mindless SJW gibberish. The man's a moron. He's one of Bill Maher's favorite guests. That should tell you a lot. Anyway, I'm just gonna stop talking about this. He compared the Betsy Ross flag to the swastika and a cross burning. Yeah, there you go. Gibberish, babbling retardation. And he's encouraged because of the morons that are on social media going, yeah, slay, you know. Anyway, let's move on to a story that's
I'm not doing it.
I've been putting this off for a while. I didn't want to do this story before we absolutely had to. I did the Caitlin Booth thing. Yeah, we did the other thing. Oh, let's do this first. Black Widow number 5. Okay.
Oh God.
Black Widow's a major property for Marvel, both Marvel Studios and Marvel Comics. Made hugely popular, long-standing character, sexy Russian lady, super spy, assassin, played by Scarlett Johansson. Like, you know, huge property for them to own. And this comic, with all of the excitement around the MCU films, this comic is emblematic of why Marvel is failing. It's like they want to fail. It's bad, It goes nowhere. It's written by Jen and Sylvia Soska, who are twin sisters from Canada who produce B horror movies, like grindhouse horror movies.
Huh.
Why did you hire them? And the artist goes by the singular name of Flavino.
Flavino.
This is Flavano. Okay.
Is that Italian for flavor?
Well, maybe. What I'm saying is this art is so bad. Like, look at the way he does beards. Look at they're just a series of straight lines. Like, this is just like, I don't
know if it's Italian for something, but it's a peanut butter.
Well, I'll tell you who Flavino is in a second. But let's just soak in the horror story written by the twin sister grindhouse filmmakers. Okay, because we can't have any filthy penis havers writing Black Widow, I guess. I don't know.
No.
It's a major property, Black Widow. So let's hand it over to some complete unknowns who have no idea what they're doing, literally writing some of their first comic books. What? Why? Give your best writers who are guaranteed to write good stories this property so it can become a huge thing for you, you morons. But let's get Flavino to do this art. Look at it.
Okay, first of all, Flavino works for a better page rate than Jim Lee does.
Wow.
So, I mean, he might have been working for sandwiches. We don't know.
Look at how cutesy this kid is. Look at this art.
What's going on?
Yes, he's working for sandwiches. He makes peanut butter. It's right here, Flavino.
Well, if he makes peanut butter, he won't have to work for sandwiches. He already has sandwiches.
Well, okay, he did that. That seeded his sandwich making.
What is going on with her face? Is that a scar across her face, or is that shading?
It's shading, and it is impossible to distinguish. It's a good point because faces. If we look back on this page, like look at the shading on her face in the bottom right.
Yeah, when she's sitting next to the kid at the keyboard, it's got the same line thing on her face.
But same here. He's not supposed to have a beard, or is he? No one can know. And notice, just keep an awareness of this. They're at the Princess Bar, and this is what he's looking at on his screen. That'll become important in a second. Okay.
Well, there's that line again. That's what I'm talking about.
The giant shadow that runs right down her face because there's a crevice running across her face. It doesn't. The whole thing is just like, look at the lines. He's supposed to have a beard. Like, this guy just sucks. This is a major fucking property. This is Black Widow. And like, oh, look at the action. Is she pressing herself up into the air off of their heads? No, she's obviously supposed to be jumping from the side of the ship on there. You get no sense of action, no sense of movement. You suck, Flavino.
No, Polly, it's hard to get the action figures to stand up against each other when they're jumping like that. So he had to glue her to a couple others. So when he copied the image down, that's how it looked.
Well, okay. So I've shown you enough about like this. So like, let's find out who this guy is. Why, he's Flavino Armentaro. Look at the neo fake manga that this guy has drawn up until now. So naturally they hired him for an American action comic book starring a very full of worth character like Black Widow. This guy. Why?
Works cheap.
See what I said? I said when I said notice the art, like on the laptop page, because that's what he's used to. Cooking Time is his most famous series. In Italy, he is known for his work on Bonanelli's Dylan Dog and for drawing Cooking Time. The series teaches children how to cook.
No, obviously that's what sold them. They're like, Cooking Time. We love food-themed things.
Yeah, I mean,
it's Marvel.
If Gail Simone had any say in hiring him. Yeah.
Well, look at all the comics we've seen that have just people sitting around eating.
Yeah.
X-23, She-Hulk. She-Hulk had like a 3-part story that revolved around a cooking TV show. And this guy's running something called Cooking Time. They're like, oh my God. They even did videos on Marvel's website where CB Cebulski's cooking for some of the others.
Yeah, I didn't
Yes,
even make.
they're obsessed with cooking.
I know they're
Remember, it's
obsessed
the
with
Lexo
cooking,
brand.
and I know they're obsessed with cooking and food, but I didn't even make that connection to this guy in Cooking Time. Like this neo manga style. Why would you hire him for Black Widow here? It's obvious he's out of his element trying to draw an American superhero comic.
No,
Well,
they
he
hire
comes-
people that are out of their element all the time.
He comes highly recommended, right? I mean, his peanut butter is 4 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars on Facebook.
You're really caught up on that. Were you just gonna order some? Is that it? Just,
I googled Flavino.
you know what?
Only one
I would order
and
that peanut
that's
butter
what came
before.
up.
I would order that peanut butter before giving them $4 for that comic book. Yeah, I think Cynical Lindsay said maybe they're hoping to hire the next Mobius. No, they're just that incompetent. They're hiring whoever comes either recommended to them or that they find works cheap.
And this is what I mean. I really believe it's Tumblr art for people who work cheap. This perhaps the title of this stream is making more and more sense as we go on. Comics is turning into a creative wasteland. It's just it's about celebrity. It's about hot takes from garbage sites promoting ideology. It's about hiring people that write grindhouse horror to write Black Widow so they can say they did, and hiring Flavino to draw comics. Like when he's obviously not, like, he can do neo manga well, but this what the man, it was depressing putting these stories together, chat. I'm telling you.
Well, okay, Jack, all I gotta say is if you wanted to buy some Flavino peanut butter, it's only 127 rupees.
Oh,
which
shit,
in American
cheap.
dollars, it's $1.84. So I mean,
Yeah,
it's better spent than the comic book. I'm just saying.
yeah. I mean, you could get 2 of them.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I don't want to let the whole Flavino thing go. I don't.
I noticed. You're making me hungry. So, yeah, dude, Black Widow is not even the worst looking comic that I've seen recently from Marvel. A lot of their books are just trash, and they need to cancel about half their line, invest that money in some better artists and better writers, and actually produce some good books. But they're not going to do it because it's just about keeping the IP.
Yeah, I guess they got to keep it live. I mean, I'm seeing chat like fake monkeys, like creative is the wrong word. Just Wasteland was enough. I mean, there's so many few and in between comics that are good. It's the majority of it is crap. Like a couple of weeks ago, or was it last week that I put up the spreadsheet? Here's all the stuff that Marvel Comics is currently putting out and has coming out soon. And the number was 90 in total. It's like, just like you said, Jack, it's got to be cut down because the majority of it is fucking hot, salty trash in the sun.
Yeah, when I was a kid, and I'm old, so when I was a kid, their average number of books was about 35. They had 30 regular books and usually 4 to 5 miniseries going at any time. So they'd have like the Return of the Jedi adaptation, and then the next month, it's after the 4th issue of that came out, the next month they'd start with like Machine Man. That was a good way to do it because then you had a couple of miniseries that had some interesting or new characters or favorites or whatever. And then you had your regular core titles and you could focus on that and kids could afford them. You can't do any of that now. Kids can't afford these books. They're way overpriced and they're just hogging all the shelf space.
Pounding out them beats on your keyboard there, Quiz? Yes, he is.
Yes, I am.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is like Marvel's goal is just to take up more shelf space, so you'll just buy one of their books thinking nothing else exists. It's a desperation move. And plus all the variant covers. I mean, look at War of the Realms with all the tie-ins.
Yeah.
They went through like, what was it, 6 or 7 different miniseries that were related to the core miniseries, and then they diverged into a bunch of regular books with 1 or 2 issues in each one that were written by people that weren't even the regular writers. Like Venom had a War of the Realms tie-in, and Colin Bunn wrote it instead of Donny Cates.
All right. Well, before I move on to this, I've been putting this off. I didn't want to do this. Quiz a number of weeks ago when I said, should we cover the bad story first? And he said, man, just rip off the Band-Aid. I should have done that and done this story first, but I didn't want to set myself in a bad mood. Before I do, if you haven't already, please hit that like button. It actually does help. If you're listening in the future, please leave comments below. We get a chance to read them all and respond to most of them. And if you haven't already and are so inclined, please go retweet the tweet and like us on, follow us on Twitter, so you know when we're starting and all that, because Quiz and Jack are constantly late and cause us to not start on time. So let's
Polly, check your DMs.
What DMs?
I don't know. Right? Monkey said check your DMs. I'm assuming your Twitter DMs.
Oh my God, they're full of porn. That ain't true.
Used a lot of exclamation points, so I'm assuming it's probably true.
Well, I guess this fake monkey proved that he actually is the real monkey, so I might as well throw a moderator at him. There you go. Yeah, so by all means, hit like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And tell your family, tell your friends, tell that bitch you hate, in the words of Ranting Monkey. All right, here it is. You guys know how I feel about news entertainers. You know, right?
You love Don Lemon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love me some modern media, man, with their self-righteous personality traits and all that crap. And you know how much I hate ideology in comics, right? Yeah. So.
Oh, we have a.
Okay, here it is. Thing? Lois Lane #1 came out just today. She has uncovered the most dangerous secrets in the DC universe. Now she just has to prove it. Greg Rucka wrote this. Jack, why don't you tell us who Greg Rucka is?
He's a writer.
Go on.
Oh, you wanted more? He's also a male, and he's kind of a douche. He used to be really good when he first hit the scene, back when he wrote No Man's Land and Cataclysm, the Batman storylines. But he was nowhere near ready for prime time back then. He's just an ideologue now. He's got the Trump derangement syndrome real bad.
Yes, he does.
And I do believe that he has me blocked on Twitter.
I don't know if he has me blocked, but all sorts of people that I follow have gotten me blocked by people that like use blockchains and shit like that. So yeah. I don't know. I'd have to go find out. But
I actually ordered this issue and I haven't read it yet.
Oh man.
So I haven't been up to the comic shop, but I regret having ordered it because I've heard bad things.
Oh, you're gonna hear some things. This comic is Greg Rucka, like, okay, let's just get into it.
Oh my God, Ranting Monkey just ruined it for us. The most dangerous secret is that Superman said Martha because he's actually Batman's real dad. Don't give Brian Michael Bendis ideas. He'll totally do that.
Throughout the comic, there is news media playing in the background, cable television, right? Trying to inform the population about what's going on. And they're just not listening to the truth tellers. So it's like speculations about a shakeup in the Justice League reached for comment. The Flash dismissed concerns. Detained at camps around the country. A decision the ACLU is filing is expected to be in by the end of the week. The Justice Department announced the appeal to the ruling of the Metropolis Federal Court today. Like, it's all like, dude. Metropolis in the DC fictional world is not the place to work out your Trump derangement syndrome. The whole fucking comic is like this. It's about detention camps. It's about an evil president. It's about a press secretary. It's about... Do you want to know what this storyline is called?
Orange Man Bad?
No, think about it. It's about Lois Lane, who's a superhero journalist trying to expose the evils of the current administration. That would make her the enemy of the people. That's correct. The storyline is called Enemy of the People.
Lovely. It's nice to know at least this weirdo therapy journal is only limited to 12 issues, unlike Tom King's, which is going to be 85.
So here's the idealized version of a celebrity journalist: stacks of paper and research, as if they bother doing that and just don't repeat what's on Twitter.
Yeah.
Repeat each other. on Twitter, by the way.
Oh
But
my God, no!
Do you see what the sticker says?
Yes.
This machine kills fascists. Go fuck
Yes.
yourself.
You know what?
Greg
I actually saw that a couple weeks ago in the Superman Leviathan Rising book. Because I just did the review for it a little while back, and I saw that and I was like, oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. It's so lazy. But yeah, Bendis started that shit and they're just carrying it over, I think.
And I have to bring up, hey, Polly, I think you are blocked because I am.
Okay.
Yeah, if they got to quiz, they got to you, Polly.
Yeah.
Well,
Monkey, they would do these long flat panels because they're creatively bankrupt, and they could do the same background without having to do too many changes. You'll notice that on the page that we've got up right now, the only things that really change are her eyes and her hand on most of those scenes, because they don't have to change the computer, they don't have to change the wall, they just have to make minor tweaks, and it's a shortcut technique that's been real popular in the last 7 or 8 years.
You know, I'm seeing a lot of the whole thing Orange and Orange Man bad. They can't technically come out and say Orange Man bad on in DC Comics, because then what do you have against Tamaranians? You bigot.
Well, they have a lot apparently.
Just saying.
So was it a good issue, Polly?
Am I allowed to talk? Holy fuck! There's like 6 sentences in a row. Give me a fuck.
Go for it.
No, it was a terrible fucking issue. It fucking sucks. More stuff is going on from the television, all about like we need to hold elected officials accountable. Nobody's above the law. Big surprise, right? A lot of Trump stuff. Idealization of her as an intrepid reporter. She drinks because she has to deal with the pressure. Of course I can back it up. I've got documentation. She's talking to Perry White. She's got proof. Proof of what, you ask? Well, if we speed over here, she's getting the information from her own deep throat inside of a parkade, where she's probably giving him deep throat.
Oh my God, is it Russian collusion? Is it Russian collusion?
Yes, it is, because here they are in Moscow.
Oh God!
I was kidding.
Your worst jokes are their Poe unintendedly.
Oh
I mean,
God.
Yes, they're in Moscow. It's here, right here. This is them passing the information along. And so what do they do to the brave journalist who's trying to reveal the KGB's involvement? Funneling money to multimillionaires like Lex Luthor, who are then paying off the corrupt federal government. And that's how they got elected in the first place, and are enforcing all of these draconian laws like nationwide detention camps for dissidents.
Well, Lex Luthor isn't even president anymore. That was long time ago, dude.
I didn't say he was president. I said they were funneling money to billionaires like him, who were then paying off the elected officials. So they, of course, the KGB guys shoot the brave journalist dead because,
driving monkey nuts with all these long flat panels.
Yeah. It's too bad for her, then, it says in translation. Another fucking journalist. Bang! Finish him off. This, like, Greg Rucka, you're scum, dude. You are a fucking pile of hot trash, man. I won't, I can't show you page after page after page of the comic book. So what I'm going to do is just skip through a bunch of the pages because, copyrights and all.
I mean, even when Lex Luthor became president, they weren't trying to make it an allegory for like current president bad. What the fuck do they think they're doing?
They think they're fighting the revolution for the cause of I don't know, they miss Hillary or something.
What they need to do is they need to not hire people like Greg Rucka. Full stop. They need to stop it.
They're not going to, because he's got a name and he sells books, because he used to be good, because they used to have editors that were like, you're not doing this crap. Also, since I can't screen share still, guys, check the Twitter, and Frosted Glass sent us a picture of Zoe. I've
already liked and retweeted it.
Okay, that was really delightful, and it might help cheer Polly up a little bit, because
Hello, fellow nerds.
Ask me about my middle name.
Oh, my favorite bit about that is that he also tagged her in it. Prepare to be blocked, gentlemen.
Well, what I will show you is okay. These are the final few pages, and I, at this point, thought this is so bad. This is such an obvious, like, this is not taking ideas from the real world. This is simply transplanting this Greg Rucka's twisted, distorted, Trump poisoned mind, like poisoned by the idea of Trump, and transporting it into Metropolis and making the characters live out your bizarro fantasies of what you wish would happen. Right. I thought it had gone as far as it could when they went to Russia, and the obvious like Deep Throat reference and stuff. Well, here's Lois Lane at a White House press briefing. Here's their total not Sarah Huckabee Sanders. That is not the press secretary, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. This is a different person. Okay. Named Anna Lee. Not Sarah Huckabee Sanders at all. Okay. And she says, the real question is whether or not he's man enough to stand up with us, which is talking about like, Superman and stuff. It's like, yes, I'm wondering if there's any reaction to the piece that was run by the Daily Planet this morning, which is talking about the funneling of the money that I was referring to. And she says, I have, and it's the Lois Lane piece. It ran this morning about the refugee camps. Like, Rucka, fuck you scumbag.
Oh, they should have had Jim Acosta on there.
Like, it's the Russians funding the, like, oh my God. Well, hold on, Jack. You're going to get your wish. Ready?
Oh, no.
It's like, I can't comment upon a story I haven't read. Are there any members of the press that want to talk about the numbers or what? Actually, I do, Leanne. Here, she stands up. She's speaking truth to power bravely and boldly. I do have a question about the numbers. About the numbers, Lois? Specifically about the ones reported this morning? Yes. All right. $9.4 million from Merrick Monroe, 10.7 from LexCorp, another 8.5 from Agrenshaw. Wait, what? All paid to individual members of this administration in exchange for, that's enough. And she shuts down the press conference and they yell back and forth about each other. We're talking about children as young as 18 months. Her name
that's a lot of money for kids that young.
Well, her name is Leanne McCarthy. Are you? Fuck you, Greg Rucka. Right in your scumbag ass. You're not writing a comic. This is your flight of fantasy diary.
Yeah, this is.
You want people to buy this?
This is historical fiction. This
so
isn't
what?
Comic books.
Yeah.
But in his fantasy, I think you need to answer the question. Answer the question, Leanne. Answer the question. And Leanne is stuck there, not able to answer because the brave reporter was able to hold her to the facts that she uncovered. Yeah, but this has never happened. That's not what's going on. But in her mind, it is.
On the next page, do the rest of the reporters get up and slow clap?
No, what happens is exactly what happened in the real world because Greg Rucka doesn't know what the fuck he's doing and how to write stories. He just knows how to tell what his fantasies are telling him. When the press secretary refused to answer the allegations published in the Daily Planet this morning, despite repeated requests to do so, culminating in Lane's ejection from the briefing and the revoking of her credentials. And she was escorted out of the building, but she walked
Jim
out
Acosta.
proud. Yeah.
Oh my God.
She got Jim accosted. Yeah. And she is the enemy of the people, but she's walking tall and proud of the White House because she spoke truth to power, and that's why she's smiling.
Well, it's the White House. I mean, need I say more?
Faithless said it perfect. DNC political fan fiction. Yep. But
yeah, I've been saying for months now, dude, these are SJW chick tracks.
So who do I blame for this? I sit here and say, Greg Rucka, you're scum. Yeah, well, there's lots of scumbags in the world. I blame, hold on, Mike Cotton. You're the editor. You let this happen. You knew he was doing it while he was writing it because he pitched the idea to you and you said, okay. Or you encouraged him to do it. And when he handed in the final story, you saw it and you said, okay, Mike Cotton, you're not fit for your job. This should have ended you. Absolutely should have ended you. It's that bad. Nobody would ever accept GOP fanfic like this, ever. They would call it right-wing propaganda. They would never accept it. Mike Cotton, you have lost all perspective. You are no longer fit to do your job.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
Remember when DC tried to be bipartisan? They had the whole election book where the superheroes broke down where they were going to be voting.
Yeah,
And
that was a terrible idea. Comic books shouldn't be overtly political like this. It's, for God's sake, they used to sell these to 8-year-olds.
Well, I'm just saying, man, that was being political, being done right, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was definitely better, but I mean, I just want to watch some guys in costumes beat the shit out of criminals.
I don't necessarily think that politics being in comics are a bad thing. I just think that when it becomes a one-sided, partisan, moralizing stick to beat over someone's head, then it's it being done wrong. And absolutely it was done wrong this time.
And of course, it needs to be remembered, this is Lois Lane. Lois Lane Comics, in the same way Jimmy Olsen comics, have never sold well. But it's like that you would put Greg Rucka on this and do this with it. Like, why? What the fuck? It's for your satisfaction and the satisfaction of your like-minded friends that you did this. Don't tell me you believe that this would actually make Lois Lane as a comic book sell. Come on.
Oh, it doesn't need to sell. It's there to awaken the reader and show them the truth.
I want to go. I want to tell Greg Rucka. Oh wait, I can't because I'm blocked. I want to tell Greg Rucka though how it makes him feel that his woke Lois Lane is also on the same under the same name of a comic that was a racial swap. Because Lois Lane in the 70s turned black.
Yeah, that was hilariously bad.
Just saying.
Yeah,
how would it offend his social justice morals then?
They just won't talk about that. No, DC Comics is quickly falling down the same rabbit hole Marvel decided to jump down.
I sincerely hope they don't. Sincerely.
Oh, no, it's already happening. I mean...
I thought it was limited to over on Vertigo mostly, but then again, this is a small. I don't know. This is like, okay. So back to the title of the stream. You see why after putting these stories together and looking at what came out this week, including the Lois Lane intrepid reporter bringing down Trump. I mean, fake president. Yeah, comics have become a creative wasteland because they're more interested in cranking out as many comics where very little happens as possible, or turning them into political chick tracks.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, that brings us to the fucking pitches. Let's talk about some good comics, huh? Yeah. Let's talk about some comics worth fucking reading. God damn it.
Let's get happy.
Yes.
Instead of angry.
Who's ready? I'm ready. If you guys don't want to, if you're not ready, whatever.
I'm ready, but I can't screen share.
Oh
no.
Well, Quiz, why don't you go first while I go grab Jack's stuff and things?
Okay. Mine is, let's see here. Let me get to the splash page. Written by Paul Dini, the incomparable Paul Dini. Gilliam Marsh, artist, and Jose Villarrubia, colors. Letter Steve Wands, assistant editor Janelle Siegel, and editor Mike Martz. My pitch is Gotham City Sirens. For those that are unaware of this comic, it is essentially during several fairly big events, namely Blackest Night was one of them. Also, it was during Hush. It was also during, oh God, there was a lot of events that was taking place during the run of this comic. But it's essentially what happens when Catwoman is given amnesty for her past crimes. She knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman. And as a sort of way to get Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn to stay out of trouble, goes and become all flatmates together. They get an apartment together, and Catwoman keeps an eye on them, make sure that they're not getting up to villainy. And
They just scissor a lot.
it's a really, really good story. Like this right here. If you notice here, the question mark pajama pants. That's the Riddler. This is during the time where the Riddler had actually been 100% reformed, and he's actually working as a private investigator. It's a really interesting combination. But like I said, this happens during a lot of big events, like when it's Blackest Night. Black Mask comes back from the dead and accosts Catwoman because she was instrumental in his death. And Blackest Night, of course, was the event where all of the or a lot of the characters that had died in the DC canon are resurrected as these sort of horrible black power ring a la Green Lantern powered zombies that seek only to kill everyone in the galaxy. Like, that's their whole consuming purpose. So Black Mask comes back as a Black Lantern, and it takes all three of them to defeat him. But how they eventually do it, because the power ring is like bringing his dead flesh back to life. Poison Ivy like gene forges a gigantic pitcher plant that constantly is digesting him, and then they plant it in the Gotham Botanical Gardens. So Black Mask is now in this endless cycle of being constantly digested by a pitcher plant.
Yeah, Shady Grin is right. Spoilers, man. Jesus.
Oh, that's this is a 27 issue comic that just kind of meanders for a very long time, but every single step along the way is a treat. So there's no real spoilers because it doesn't really, truth be told, go anywhere. But every step of the way is awesome. So I'm just gonna say that. And of course, it's the three darlings of the Gotham universe, the three bombshells of Gotham, and it's written by Paul Dini. So how could you go wrong?
All right. Let me just. Okay. I'm ready with Jack's images if he wants to go next.
All right.
Hold on here. Close that, open that. All right.
Oh,
Mine is Batman Kings of Fear, written by Scott Peterson with art by Kelly Jones. And it is a 6-issue miniseries where first issue starts off with Batman apprehending the Joker. Things go kind of sideways at Arkham, and the Scarecrow escapes. But it gets worse because the Scarecrow decides he wants to help Batman, and he's going to analyze him by kind of following him along for a few days and like seeing his routine and trying to psychoanalyze him. Well, this is the Scarecrow we're talking about, so he's kind of crazy, and he had hit Batman with the gas, so Batman's like kind of hallucinating while going out on his routine, and it ends up like the Scarecrow's just kind of trying to figure out what the hell's going on with Batman. It's a lot of fun. It's a fun book. It's got a lot of interesting elements to it, and I like Kelly Jones' art, and I normally hate this style of abstract art, but I like the way he does Batman.
Do you think it's actually abstract?
In a way, because everything's so exaggerated.
Sure, okay.
But the way he draws Joker is actually pretty scary. So it was a lot of fun. It was just a fun read. It's nothing real intense. It's not very serious. And watching the Scarecrow's reaction to the way Batman does patrol is hilarious. So I enjoyed this miniseries. I thought you guys would enjoy it. Think it's fun. So yeah, I just wanted to share that.
Nice. And for those of you interested, there is the cover again. Okay. So I am going to, that leaves me, I'm going to, I was inspired to pitch this series. I thought, what is like one of the good first story arcs that I remember? I wanted to go like back in the day to some real old school shit, like 1960s, God damn it, because what's going on today is just so fucking trashy. So one of the most famous storylines and images is used all over the place, but is never referenced to where it came from. The Spider-Man No More storyline from Amazing Spider-Man. 1967, I'm going to say, maybe 68. This is where Peter Parker decides to stop being Spider-Man. The art is so wonderfully old school. Look at this. John Romita Sr. Oh, yeah. I just it's just, this is classic old school comic book fun. I mean, remember we're talking about like foreshortening, and you can tell that action is going on. Look at the action in this panel right here. You know what's going on? There's action lines, there's motion, there's like, you can tell who's fighting, and like, yeah, it's kind of an older, campy style of art from today's perspective, but god damn it, you have so much fun when reading it. Things are happening, words are being said, like, and you get all the fun like old school advertisements and stuff. The Gwen Stacy, this is far from Mary Jane Watson days. The main story arc here is that Peter is putting up with more and more stress because of school. He's in college and he's not able to make the grade because he's running around, and Gwen Stacy is kind of like hot for him, but you know, here he is driving around on his pathetic little scooter and ultimately comes to this decision. I love this scene so much. Menace, egomaniac, public enemy, fraud, mentally disturbed. You know, this nightmare. J. Jonah Jameson has just like become the anti-Spider-Man guy. Like, this is so original, but this is where so many of the Spider-Man tropes come from this era. And Peter Parker does the one thing that has become a legendary image in comic books. There it is. Throws his Spider-Man suit away and walks away. This has been replicated and redone and reissued, and different characters doing the same image. John Romita Sr. was the original, and that's the page that it came from when Peter Parker just gives up on the life. You can, the story does continue over here in 51 in the clutches of the Kingpin. This is when the Kingpin is first introduced into the story arc. There's one guy, the Kingpin of crime in New York, and he falls under he finds out that there is a guy that is actually running the majority of crime in New York, one man behind it all, and he hunts him down, but it completely underestimates the amount of henchmen and how powerful the Kingpin himself actually is, like physically. Gets into a fight with them, and he's just a big fat guy. No, that's not fat, that's muscle, and he just kicked the hell out of you, Spider-Man.
He beat him with body positivity.
Yeah. I picked these two issues as, and again, it's the same, same writing team, same art, and yeah, it's old school, but by all means, go back and read it. It's absolutely available as an original story arc collected edition. It's called the Spider-Man No More storyline. I checked, it is available on Amazon as a collected printed edition, and it is available on Comixology as a collected edition, and it collects 12 issues from this era, because this was a time when the notion of a story arc where it's like part 1, part 2, part 3 inside of an ongoing series, they didn't do that. Every story ran into every other story, so they just collect the 12 issues in sequence that had the most to do with each other and call it the Spider-Man No More storyline, where Peter Parker's not having fun being Spider-Man anymore, obviously, and decides to give it up, but then comes back to the fight because, damn it, they need him. So yeah, go read some original old school comics, and when things were fun. Things used to be fun, believe it or not.
Oh, show the other one's cover again.
Okay, let me just go. Home. There we go.
And say, am I the only one that thinks with this image?
That was the Hulk.
Oh, damn it!
What are you talking about?
I was doing
the theme song from the Incredible Hulk TV show.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you guys are old.
Okay. Was it walking away and hitchhiking, dude? He was always looking over his shoulder.
Look at that cover price, guys. 12 cents. Like, yeah, okay, I get it. It was 1967, but like, still.
Yeah, adjusted for inflation, it's like $3.
Exactly. Yeah, adjusted for inflation, it would not be $3.99, man. They are gouging you. Make no mistake.
Yeah.
That's actually one of the things that makes me the maddest about modern comics, especially Marvel. The quality is garbage on Marvel books, and they still expect you to pay $4.
Yeah,
I would rather pick up a Dynamite book because at least the paper quality is better. I mean, indie books have better paper quality than Marvel. So if you're going to risk $4, I'll buy that Zorro book from American Mythology, knowing that it's going to be way less politics and it'll have action in it because they have to sell them.
Yeah. I mean, guys were interested in keeping their job then because, you know, you wouldn't keep your job just because you voted for the right person. As a matter of fact, they'd probably look at like you were insane if you were suggesting, but you can't fire me even though I'm a complete incompetent. I voted for the right person. What the fuck are you talking about? That doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah.
I support the political positions you do. So what? You suck. Get out of here. Anyway.
So
there,
you know what? I was watching your boy Zach talk about public domain characters the other day, and I think he's right. I think a lot of the public domain characters are probably going to be the future of a lot of comic companies.
Yeah,
because you can't create your own anymore if you're an indie company and expect it to sell on its own. So you produce some books with like 2 or 3 titles with public domain characters, and then do a title with your house characters. I could see that working a lot better.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I could see the new characters that they come up with selling only after they've established them, and people aren't going to give it a shot until they have something that sells fairly decent.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know who Zorro and Flash Gordon are, so when they fall into the public domain, people might take a chance on that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could sell a title with your characters in them.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a fucking stream, gentlemen. But I think we're going to wrap it up right there. If you haven't already, by all means, please like. And if you're not subscribed, think about doing so. Also, follow us over on Twitter. Our links are below in the description. If you're listening in the future, by all means, leave a comment below. We get a chance to read them all and respond to most of them. And we like hearing what you guys think. This or that, I didn't like this, what you want to see, what you enjoyed. And especially more than anything, if you end up going and picking up something that we mentioned or recommended or anything along those lines, or something that we didn't recommend that you think we should read, tweet us about it. We love hearing about that shit. So there it is. Anything to say, guys, finally?
I like pudding.
We may be negative, but don't be negative to comics.
Yeah, there's a lot of good comics still out there. Give some indies a try. There's a lot of good independent books that are worth picking up.
Yeah.
And just because things seem to be shit right now doesn't mean that there can't be something good coming out. Just keep a weathered eye and give money to the people that are actually doing some good, and not people that block you on Twitter because you follow someone that they don't like.
And it's officially the 4th of July now, so happy Independence Day, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, so, like Ryan Walters said, remember to leave out milk and apple pie for Captain America tonight.
Absolutely. Tomorrow would be an excellent time to read some Captain America. If you don't have any, watch Captain America, the First Avenger, the best MCU film ever. All right, Jack, Quiz, thanks for being here. Chat, you guys are awesome as always. Have a good night.
Bye.
Take care.